and welcome to Big Purpose Mastermind. I'm your host, Scott Wilhite. This show is for anyone who feels like they have a calling, a mission, a life's work to accomplish. Maybe you would call it a big purpose, something that is bigger than yourself, and you're not quite sure how to accomplish it. What we do in this Mastermind series is we look at some of those masters of influence and evaluate some of the things that they're doing, and hopefully we can take some insights into our life that will help us to actually accomplish those things so we could do what it is we were called to do that often is bigger than ourselves. This week, of course, is Jay Shetty week. Oh my goodness, this has been so good, so amazing. Super excited to share some things with you. And anyway, thank you for joining me today. By the way, if you're joining me live, give me a hashtag live in the chat. If you're watching the replay, give me a hashtag replay. I'll look at those comments. And anyway, I'd love to have that interaction with you to help you with whatever it is you're going through and whatever challenges you're going through. Honestly, my big challenge right now is how do I get my message out to people? You know, I'm using broadcasting technology. I've recorded videos, I've done all of these things, but I haven't connected with the right audience yet. And I don't know how to do it. And so I am studying these masters of influence, and thank you for coming along the journey with me as I study them and kind of figure out what works for them and maybe what can work for me. So anyway, hopefully that will work for you and that this will add value to what you're doing. So with that, let me share with you the quote of the day. Let's see. Okay, yeah. So this is from Alex Haley. Alex Haley wrote Roots. I've got a bunch of quotes from him. I love what he says. And this one I thought was just remarkable. He said, I wasn't going to be one of those people who died wondering what if. I would keep putting my dreams to the test, even though it meant living with uncertainty and fear of failure. This is the shadowland of hope, and anyone with a dream must learn to live here. Okay. Alex Haley, I love that. I love that. Now, throughout this Mastermind series, one of the things that I really want to help people overcome or at least challenge their belief system. And beliefs are awesome when they are rooted in truth. But sometimes we have these limited beliefs that actually keep us, limited and playing small. And anyway, so here's an example. So I remember when I first started my first entrepreneurial business and I'd left full-time employment. I am full on invested in being an entrepreneur. And I would get up every morning at 4:14 and I would go through my morning routine and then I would jump into work and I would just work all day and just I was sitting here at the computer, punching away at stuff, building websites, building products, building all sorts of things. Occasionally, like when I went for dinner or something like that, I had my phone out in front of me. Like I was so just always working. But I believed that no matter how hard I worked, it wasn't going to pay off. It wasn't going to work out. And you know what? It didn't. It came about exactly as I believed or exactly as I had thought. And then I remember one year, my wife said, hey, okay, for this summer break, she's a school teacher. And so our great times together is the summer. And we didn't have a ton of money, because I'm still scraping by with my limiting belief system. And she said, okay, we don't have enough money to take a really big vacation somewhere. So let's take a mini vacation every week. And let's pick a day each week, and where you only work a half a day and then the other half a day we hang out together. We go see a movie. We go on a hike or something like that. Well, we did that. And I got to tell you, it was the funnest summer I've ever had. It was so great to just, put things aside and focus on her and our relationship together. And you know what? I made more money that summer than I had in the previous years being an entrepreneur. Okay. Sometimes what we believe are wrong. They're false. We need to challenge those beliefs and see what else is possible. Okay. With that, that's what we're going to talk about today with Jay Shetty. Actually, let me rewind just a little bit. In case you missed any previous episodes with him, this is what we talked about earlier this week. Actually, Before I get to that, let me just tell you where you can find this. If you want to find any previous sessions, you can find that at schoolofhumanity.tv. You'll see all of the great people that we have highlighted so far and some of the things that they have done. And anyway, it's just remarkable. Schoolofhumanity.tv. So in day one with Jay Shetty, we talked about his origin story and how he uses that to make a difference. Day two, we talked about overcoming obstacles. On him, we actually focused on how he helps other people overcome obstacles. Wednesday, we talked about how he was using video to accomplish his big purpose. He does this through storytelling. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about some innovative video strategies that hopefully you can use. And then tomorrow, we will talk about clarity on who he is serving. Okay, again, this is again, this is all in the schoolofhumanity.tv. So if you want to get past sessions, just jump there. And so, okay, so the limiting belief that I want to challenge, I want you to challenge, or at least audition, as I like to call it, audition this belief if it is a limiting belief or not. And this is a belief that I had. And I believe that everything that I created had to be original. Like I had to come up with all new ideas. It had to be groundbreaking from the get-go. Well, Jay Shetty's mission, again, here's Jay, woohoo! Jay Shetty's mission is to make wisdom go viral. And one of the things that he has accepted as a truth is that he is not the source of truth. He is not the creator of truth. And often what he's doing is packaging up age-old wisdom. He had some really great comment about, the best wisdom is found in a dusty old book or something like that. Like wisdom has been around for a long time, but we're not applying it. We're not using it in our lives. And so anyway, the story that he shares here that we're going to watch is the cookie story. I mean, I've heard so many different speakers tell this story, but then Jay goes and he actually films this as a dramatic narrative. He does it a little bit. Anyway, he'll narrate it. You're going to see some of that. Actually, I want to back up just a little bit. If we go back to Clint Pulver Week, actually, let me just show you Clint. So Clint did a different take. This is Clint in the red here with the drumsticks. Clint did a different take on creating your own story. He produced a video that was a dramatic narrative of an event that happened in his life. And that single video has accounted for 90% of his bookings. He's a speaker. He goes and speaks all over the world. And 90% of his bookings come because of that dramatic narrative. Okay, I actually don't know how many views on this particular video Jay Shetty has gotten, but I do know that he has over 37 million followers and billions, it says billions with an S, of video views. He was the largest, the biggest viral video person on Facebook a couple of years ago. Anyway, just phenomenal. So I'm going to play you just the beginning of this story that he does. This is the cookie story. You may have heard it before, and anyway, I want you to watch and listen to how he tells this. So here we go.
A man was waiting at an airport for a long-distance flight. His flight was delayed, and so he had a little spare time. He saw a deal on some cookies and thought he should treat himself. He bought quite a few cookies because he thought it might be quite a long delay. He took a seat near a man and started to read the magazine he also picked up earlier. He exchanged a glance with the other man and then tried to avoid eye contact as he went back to reading. While he was engrossed in his magazine, he happened to see that the man sitting beside him boldly grabbed a cookie from the container. He initially ignored the incident to avoid a scene. He grabbed a cookie himself and went back to his magazine.
Okay, I'm just going to stop it right there because I want to point out a few things that are going on here. So first of all, it's a story. It's a very simple story. If you look at this is all filmed in one little cookie shop, one bakery kind of thing. There's just a few players here. There's the lady that sells them the cookies. There's then there's these two main characters going back and forth. And anyway, it's really simple. Like it's not this huge, elaborate, unattainable story for anybody to film. You can do this too. I mean, this whole thing that I'm trying to show you is that you can absolutely use storytelling like this, simplify it down to the bare essence, whatever story it is that you're telling, and be able to tell that. One of the things too that I want to point out that I love that in so many of Jay's videos, he shows up as I mean, he's kind of the sage of wisdom. He was a former monk, again, catch some of the earlier episodes to find out about that. But he shows up sharing this wisdom and just talks right to you as if you are the only person listening to this story. He's not talking to everyone. He's just talking right to you, which I just absolutely love. Again, that's something that you'll want to mimic. So just kind of shortcutting the story, they go back and forth. The guy keeps stealing cookies. This slacker looking guy, kind of sloppy dressed, keeps stealing cookies. Finally gets down to the last cookie. He looks at it, breaks it in half, and gives it to this other guy. And this other guy's just furious about this. Just can't believe that you would take my cookies and then offer me, my last one. Anyway, here we go.
I could not believe the other man's nerve.
There we go.
He was thinking in his head, how ungrateful could that man be? The other man then left and took the container with him. This guy couldn't believe what had just happened. He was relieved when his flight was called. He gathered his belongings. As he lifted his bag, he saw that there was a full container of cookies right there.
The reveal.
He was totally shocked, totally surprised. It caught him off guard.
Okay, anyway, I'm going to stop there. This is a story that's been told before. Jay did not create it. He did not originate it. He just simply said, hey, that would be a great story to tell, and he filmed it. I don't know if he filmed it with a bunch of buddies, if he hired people. I don't know the details on that. But the fact is he took that step and he shared it. Now, the wisdom that he's sharing, his whole mission, again, is to make wisdom become viral. The wisdom is not his either. It's this age-old wisdom of don't judge too quickly. And as he shares this and as he tells it through a dramatic story, that's something that you will always remember. And it's going to stick in your mind a lot more than just somebody talking about it, but it's going to stick in your mind because you've actually seen them. You've seen the interaction. You can kind of place yourself in there. Anyway, great storytelling style. Really fun, I think, to have him showing up and then talking again right to you. Look at his eye contact there that he makes with you. This is something you can absolutely do with whatever you are doing, with whatever wisdom you have. Maybe you know how to help people with their health and fitness. Maybe you know how to help people with their relationships. Maybe you know how to help people get over their money problems and have a business or something like that. You have this wisdom that you can pass on. Use video to do that. Become that trusted source. You have the opportunity to pass that wisdom on to the next person. Okay, Jay is an amazing person to watch. You might want to catch the end of that because he kind of wraps it up and does a little twist at the end too to get people realizing just kind of more possibilities. Again, we're talking about challenging our belief systems. And our belief systems show up in these things that happen to us over and over again. Whatever we believe actually manifests and comes about. And so if we can challenge those things and start to accept or to audition other beliefs, hey, that means there's more possibilities out there for us. All right. So with that, just want to remind you, if you want to catch past sessions, just a Big Purpose Mastermind, just go to schoolofhumanity.tv. You'll find that all there. You'll be able to watch those. It's absolutely free. Just want to let you know that resource is out there. I hope that you do know that you do have a calling, a mission, a life's work to accomplish, something that I would call a big purpose. And hopefully today has given you a little bit of encouragement so that you can go out and make life better.